Welcome back to another lore video. It's been a few months since I've done a Destiny YouTube video, but I was excited for this theory and wanted to share it with you all. I had moved over to Warframe for a bit, but with Heresy being so good, I have been locked in to this episode's story. There will be some changes coming into the future with this page, also having some Elden Ring story content, and a new format for content, but it's been delayed by my editor in the middle of some important surgeries. Make sure you stick around to the end of this video because I want to help you guys. I want to help the Destiny community, but want to get right into this theory. That's why you're here. You're not here for help, you're here for theories. Also, please talk about this theory or express your own theories in the comments. I'd love to hear them. I don't normally do this, but if you guys stick around to the end of this video, I'll show off the build that I'm using with this Titan. I'm normally a Hunter main, but I've been using Titan a lot this season, and I know this is just Prophecy, which is the equivalent of a lost sector at this point, but this is the same build that I use in different raids and dungeons. So, if you like what you see, stick around to the end. I'll show off my mods, everything that I'm using, as well as my cosmetics. I started tossing around this theory in my head last week when I read the lore on the Division sidearm. If you have not read it yet, it's 8 out of 9 of the 9 having a conversation. As I read the lore, you will see numbers on the side of the screen. This is so you can know which member of the 9 is talking. If you are ever wondering how to tell which member of the 9 is speaking in different lore pages for yourself, there is a helpful guide on the 9's Destiny Wikipedia page. Our children live, the threat of soul defeated. We remain, we remain. A foolish thought. A threat defeated is our opportunity wasted. We remain bound. Such cruel exaggeration. Can we not engage in elegant conversation as we used to? How can we be prisoners when we need sapience to ensure our survival? Do we not exist in response to their being? The final shape thwarted by the light creatures, the necessary idiocy of the witnesses, non-viable means of escape, a childish viewpoint, sourness, amplified by arrogance, our fate, plain as gravity, accept its pull, or fall, regardless. Your side is complacent, worthless futility. We must look beyond the chains of matter. Reality is malleable, if only we will it so. Bright strength lies in the bonds of us, bonds of matter, bonds of love. Your solution falls short. All tethers iron. Invented enemies, outsourced friends. Our divide ever wider. 9 foes in soylent denial. I mourn unity. Grieve coalition. Follow your foolishness. But if all you find is oblivion and the peril of our children, we all perish. The only member of the 9 who is not speaking is 4. One member is missing. I believe this member to be Mercury. While I do understand during the last showcase with the Bungie devs, one person said that this planet is back, but there is no lore or in-game reason to believe Mercury has returned, and we do know for a fact that Io is still missing in the Ascendant realm from the Court of Blades activity. But I do not think this theory changes whether the planet was returned or not. My theory is that a member of the 9, Mercury, is controlling the Taken and trying to usurp the Winnower and Oryx. I know this may be hard to believe, but bear with me. We have known for a long time that there is a schism within the coalition of the 9. They do not all agree on how their fates should play out. A short history of the 9 if you are unfamiliar with who they are. They are sentient dark matter that became more and more self-aware as more life and intelligence evolved in the solar system. Each member of the 9 represents a planet. The only question is if one represents Sun or Pluto. I guess depends on if Bungie classified the dwarf planet as a big boy. The 2 factions of the 9 are in constant disagreement with each other and have been ever since the Travelers' arrival. One side wants to help humanity because their lives are tethered to sentient life. The other side wants to find a way to break this tether either by creating bodies for themselves or creating their own pocket universe to live in. In the lore page called The Witch, which by the way is one of my favorite lore pages, it states this: "Come now the Traveler, and with it a strange hope. For the Traveler's light had the power to cause without causation. If the 9 had the light, they could seed their own minds, free themselves from the dependence on matter life. They could gain forces beyond gravity to structure themselves, and so become more than wraiths of dark dust. They could enter the mad alien superworld of our chemical reality. So they turned to this new hope, and were divided. The side that wants to help us understand us are the ones that sent Xur and Orin as ambassadors for them, as they cannot interact with the material plane. Even within these two groups, and one wants us to survive, one doesn't care and just wants to be untethered, there is even one that is more fanatical and went rogue. On this same lore page of the witch, it says, in passing, Lavania sees the entire history of the Queen's interactions with the Nine, more than anyone suspected and more vital. She sees how one of the Nine blinded guardians to Gaul's approach, risking everything. For Gaul would have destroyed the sun and the Nine with it. To learn how to steal the light, she sees how that one was punished. We know that it wasn't all of the Nine that wanted Gaul to attack the Traveler, but a single member, and they were punished. And well, Mercury was partially destroyed and turned into fuel by the Cabal. Almost half of its mass is now gone or fragmented, separated from the main planet body. It is safe to say that Mercury, member of the Nine, is the one that went rogue. If one of the Nine was willing to risk their entire existence by allowing Gaul and the Cabal to steal the Traveler's light and also set up a device that would blow up the sun and all planets along with it, it's not that far out there that this member, while in the Ascendant realm, would go even farther to learn how to free itself from sentient life. I do understand this is all circumstantial evidence, but let's take a look at a few more things. And I am going to bring in some science and history into this as well. The Dire Taken all have weird tentacle things coming off of them. Honestly, I didn't even know this until I googled pictures of them. I don't stop to admire I'm a shoot first, ask questions later guy in Destiny. Not trying to make friends. Each one has these flappy, wavy tendrils coming off the back of them. When I first saw pictures of these guys, the first thing I thought of was Orin. Yes, I know Orin doesn't have tentacles, but her lace ribbons flowing from her backside is very similar to the way the tentacles come off the Dire Taken. And we all know Xur and how his face is just smoke and tentacles. I know it could be another coincidence, but the Nine have been described as tentacles in lore passage called, well, the Nine. With a horror of revelation so absolute that it would drive her mad if she still had sanity to lose, Lavania understands where the Nine have always been. They are within everyone, every system, every living and moving thing. Trillions and pentillions of slim, dark matter tentacles plunge through all our bodies, drinking up the complexity of our lives and thoughts. We are all pinched silhouettes impaled on the twitchings of infinitely long spider legs. In fact, if you were to look up tentacles in Ishtar Collective and see what comes up, the Nine are the only beings described as tentacles. There are a few things in like some previous lore, like the Stormjoy from Fundament, that has tentacles, but nothing is described as being tentacles. The Nine are also scared of taken power, or at least taken power in the wrong hands. They killed the last of the Ahamkaras in order to keep themselves safe from Oryx, and they really wanted to keep a few wish dragons for themselves due to how powerful they were. During the last Ahamkara hunt, they hid some Ahamkaras away. So this was a huge sacrifice on their end to stop the potential of them being taken. She has ruined everything. Such blind arrogance. We are lost. Hurry. He will recruit them all if we do not act now. What can we do? Done cannot be undone. Everything is lost. Kill them where they creep and crawl. Let their bones whisper not. The children. They are not our children. We have no time for sentiment. It is this or we lay ourselves bare before the veil. No, no, we must before he takes them all. Imagine his power. Reach together now. No, 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 that our touch be lethal. Riven, we will it so. The dreamer is lost call the rest. That our judgment be true. We will it so. Now, if you are wondering, Four, or which I believe is Mercury, does speak in this lore that I just read. In fact, they are the ones that started this entire lore page off with the she has ruined everything. That is Four. The Nine also have a serious history with experimenting on living organisms and even trying to create life. There's a whole race of experiments called the Jovians. Xur is just one of them. Orin, the emissary, talks about how Zur is a prototype while she is the master creation. I'm not going to read all the lore, but I encourage you to look up the lore on page Cocytus. It's about a haunted space station that no one knows who built it or what it was used previously for, and has been erased from all Vanguard records. On this space station, there are what is called keyholes, portals to other dimensions. The Nine used this station at one point to experiment and try to create life using these keyholes. Every attempt went wrong and ended with the subject dying horrifically. So it is not that far of a reach to think that a rogue member of the Nine would use newfound power to create or change living things. Even the eyes can fit into this theory. If you have spent any time playing this season's activities, you've no doubt seen the giant, terrifying eyes that stare into your soul. Well, the Nine do not have eyes, as seen on the lore page titled The Nine. They had no eyes to catch light, they had no ears to hear, and yet they turned their wills upon the alien world of matter and strove to learn, for they knew they had to protect their hearts or die. One more point I'd like to make is involving science and history. In a few months, we have a new DLC coming out, codenamed Apollo. Apollo was one of the original names for the planet Mercury. The ancient Greeks had two names for the small planet. Apollo was the name for the planet when it was visible during the day, and Hermes was the name when it was visible at night. And now that I've produced all this evidence for my theory, let me paint a picture. A rogue member of the Nine, already known to put themselves and others at risk in the pursuit of knowledge and power, becomes taken by the Witness. They are cut off from their family, the other members of the Nine, for 5 years. There they spend their time in the Ascendant realm, watching, learning, seeing how Taken works. And remember, the Witness is killed by the Guardian, releasing its power and control over this member of the Nine. This lost member of the Nine uses what it learns to fill the power vacuum inside the Ascendant realm, taking over the Taken, turning them into even better versions than Oryx had made them. This member of the Nine becomes the first Nine to be able to interact with a material plane being taken themselves. They create eyes to finally see. Their invisible tentacles become physical ones. Maybe they circumvent their need for life to exist and tie themselves to the Taken and Ascendant realm, finally being able to do the one thing they always wanted: have power and control over their own life. I know this is a kind of out there as far as theories go, and I usually have a lot more to go off on when I produce these theories, but we don't really have a lot to go off on right now, no matter what kind of theory we try to produce. I've also posted theories on the Secret Disciple from Winterbite because it fits in with that like more liquidy, oceany, aquatic feel with the tentacles and eyes, and or even like the Great Quiet one that we saw back in Echoes being possibilities on my TikTok page. But for a YouTube video, I really just wanted to do this one. Now, like I said in the beginning, if you stuck around, I wanted to offer to help you. First off, I hope you hit that subscribe button. Been working hard on growing this YouTube page with the possible TikTok ban. And I know a lot of people in the Destiny community don't have people to play with or haven't experienced endgame to its fullest. If you come over to my Twitch streams, I am constantly helping people through GMs, dungeons, raids, and more. It's very important to me that more people get to enjoy all that Destiny has to offer. If you are looking for more people to play with, I do have an amazing Discord with a Sherpa team, full LFGs, VCs for you to find and make new friends. I want you to enjoy Destiny. Thank you all for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, hunters never die.